What is the best way to approach a new project? Why is it so common that when you start a new activity, you get this overwhelming feeling? And sometimes, when you're working at your laptop, you realize that instead of actually doing work, you got distracted and you are searching on Google things like are zebras black with white stripes or vice versa? Well, approaching a new project can be extremely overwhelming, and today we're going to discuss 6 important steps that will help you to approach a new activity from scratch. Hi, I'm Marco Iannitto. I'm a vehicle engineer and founder of TechDel. In my life, I worked with some of the best teams in the world to develop very unique cars. And today, I want to share with you some of the tricks that I use to make sure that when I start a new project, I can deliver it respecting the targets of quality, time, and budget. So, first of all, this approach can be used for any kind and any size of project, be it a small activity like producing this video, or even starting a new business from scratch. The first step is write down your goal. Whether it is on a whiteboard or on a sticky note, make sure that you have a clear reminder of where you want to get. This will work, first of all, as a motivation. The development process is very tricky and full of pitfalls, and it's not uncommon to feel frustrated and overwhelmed by the unexpected issues and delays that you may face along the way. So, having a clear reminder, a clear idea of where you want to get will boost your motivation and will help you to stand back up on your feet and keep pushing towards your goal. The second reason is more practical. Due to the nature of the process of development and the time that it takes for your idea to become an actual product, it can happen that sometimes along the way you just go slightly off track. So having a reminder of where you want to get will help you to steer your project back in the direction that you wanted, and ultimately you will be able to lead the project rather than be led by the events. Step number 2 is get organized. Find a nice place where you want to work. Now, I've been working and traveling a lot in my life, and I know how much time does it take to find a nice working space and how much energy you waste in the process. This energy instead should be focused on your project, on your development. So, especially if you are starting a new business, you're starting a new activity, make sure that you take some time to find a nice, suitable place. Project development is a creative process, and you need to be inspired by the place where you're working from. And also, you want to limit the distractions that your working place can create. Step number 3 is slice the elephant up. To avoid that overwhelming feeling that you have when you approach a new project and you see something that is so big, what you want to do is to break it down in smaller tasks, something that you can manage in a reasonable amount of time. Build a checklist out of these tasks to make sure that you will not forget any important step along the way. It's like when you're cooking a lasagna. Before starting to cook, you will check your recipe, and then you will check it every now and then to make sure that you're not skipping any important step, so that you know that when the lasagna comes out of the oven, your guests will be super happy to eat it. Personally, I've always used a whiteboard to do this process and break down my project, and I've done it for any major activity, any major project of my life. Whether it was when I decided to sell everything and start traveling around the world, or actually even now when I'm producing this video. Step number 4. Identify priorities. Now that you have a clear checklist with all the steps that you need to take to complete your project, you want to make sure that you identify the most important ones, the ones that are the real backbone of your project, and you focus all your energies to complete them. you will realize that most of the times you don't need 100% of your checklist done to finish your project, but you have to make sure that you don't miss any of the important steps. Step number 5. Identify what do you need. Use your checklist to understand what you will be needing along the development, whether it is materials, tools, or even a certain set of skills. It's very important to run this analysis at this stage of the project before starting it, because this will help you to estimate the amount of time and money that you will be needing to complete it. This will also give you time to react if you understand that you are missing something. Let's imagine that in your team you are missing an important set of skills. You will have time at the beginning of the project to start a recruitment campaign and bring on board all the resources that you will be needing to complete your project. Let's go back to the lasagna example. Imagine that you have done all the preparation and then you forgot that you need the oven to cook it. Failing to do the analysis of what you will be needing can ruin your project, or at least create very big delays. The last step is build a timeline. Every project needs time constraints, otherwise it is just a hobby. Starting from your checklist, understand the dependency of each activity from another and group them in milestones. Give to each milestone a reasonable amount of time to achieve them and put the milestones into a timeline. This will help you to track your progresses and understand whether or not you're falling behind in the schedule. If you see that you're falling late, you will be able to take action, speed up the project to make sure that you meet the time to market targets. But the advantages of having a structured plan are not only practical. Let's say that you are looking for funds. Being able to show a structured plan with a proper preliminary analysis done before starting the project will increase your reliability in the eyes of investors and the likelihood of them investing in your project. Before wrapping up what we've seen today, if you are new to the channel and you like our contents, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notification to make sure that you don't lose any new contents that we will be releasing. Also, if you are curious about our services, feel free to check our website out clicking the link above. Starting a new project, whether it is a short activity or setting up a business, can really be overwhelming. But like when you're climbing a mountain, if you know the directions and you have the proper gear, then it takes one step after another to reach the peak. And in no time, you will be able to look back and not being able to believe how far you reached from where you started. So, when you start your project, remember to write down your goal, get organized and find a nice working space, destructure your project into smaller tasks and assign to them priorities. Identify the backbone of your project. Make sure that you know all the skills and tools and materials and everything that you need before starting your activity. And finally, build a timeline. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.